Welcome back to another video, guys. Today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make a beat for Future and Little Baby, just like this.
Whip it up, chef.
So I first started off grabbing a sound from Analog Lab. I pulled up a C sharp natural minor scale, and I'm at 158 BPM. So I laid in my bass note, and I'm adding these little triplet little melodies on top right now to give it that little vibe. I like that a lot. Just feeling for the sound right now, just not super sure what I want yet, but I have an idea. I can kind of hear it in my head already, so I'm just trying to get it out there. Almost there. Just playing around with the notes. I think I might keep it the same chord throughout though. Let's see. I think I'm gonna go ahead and change that top melody as well. Let's just get rid of that. Just something like some little stabs at the top I think would be cool, like this. Check this out. Something like that, similar. Ooh, so close, it's almost there. Alright, we got it. Copy that over. We're going to copy this chord over as well. This is going to be our foundation for our beat. We're going to make this super simple. 2 patterns only. We got the melody and a counter melody coming up. That's hard. Changing the sound from Analog Lab. I really like that sound a lot. You need to take out a lot of the high end notes. You don't want the high end, you want it super soft. So you had in mind when picking the sound that I was going to get rid of a lot of the high end, so because obviously that sounds too harsh, way too harsh, so I had to change it. That's what I'm doing here. I'm adding a little filter from Fat Effects from LOGiC stock plugins. It has this cool little X and Y axis where you can like adjust the filter, which is really cool for these type of melodies for sure. Add some Valhalla vintage reverb. We're gonna turn down the decay just a little bit, and a little bit of the pre-delay, all the pre-delay. Turn on the mix as well too. I'm gonna adjust the EQ a bit on the bandpass filter, on the Fat Effects. Okay. Now we're gonna look for a counter melody. Want something from Mellotron, like some flutes or something like that. Yeah, super dark. So I'm just trying to get down a pattern here, and a lot of these beats are just the effects coming into work, like the plugins we throw on it that really just crisp everything up and glue it together. that's hard. Do dun 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 dun. Sometimes you just gotta hum it out, man. Sometimes you just gotta hum it out, and it actually turns out really well. I'm gonna add some primal little tap. It's like kind of like a reverb delay. Really cool from Sound Toys. Highly recommend it for these type of beats. Cut some high ends out with an EQ. It's a little harsh on my ears, so I'm just gonna try to turn it down a bit with the EQ. Add some Valhalla Vintage Verb, you know I love it. Turn on the mix, turn on the decay. Now we're gonna add some pancake, like a panning between the ears. This really adds some flavor to your beats. Keeps things moving, interesting. Very crucial to have in your beat. No matter what type of beat, honestly. It could be anything. Panning is lovely. It's flavor. And I'm the chef. So now we're just transposing it. Just trying to switch up the vibe a little bit. I want it a little darker maybe, so I'm going to transpose it down a couple semitones. I think I ended up going with 2 or 3 semitones down. Just preference, so like you can go up even, like just whatever you're feeling. I want something a little darker, so I went down. And I believe I ended up in the F sharp minor. I believe. Now we're adding a little initial reverse to that counter melody. This really gives me that future vibe of like that reverse, just futuristic sound, like it's his name, Future. I don't know how to explain it, but it really adds a lot of character to this beat, I think. Now I'm looking for like a Moog, like synth bass for like the intro of this beat. I think those go a long way, so make sure your synth is in mono, your bass is in mono. Put a little glide on it, kind of following the bass notes of my original melody. But I definitely need a little adjusting here, so I'm going to erase some of these notes. Shorten sound. It's all about finding the right balance of notes. I'm going to cut out some of the high end, take off that harshness off the top of that bass so it's a little softer and a little more in the background of the beat. Don't want it too loud. Just nice and simple.
Whip it up, chef. Whip it up, chef.
That's a wrap. This is my favorite beat, my favorite beats I've ever made, honestly. The melody's sick, and like I don't think I've ever gone this crazy with the drum bounce. So let's get straight into how I made these drums. So first off, what I always start with is just a clap on the third bar, or not the bar, third, I don't know what you call it. So here's the first, here's the second, and then here's the third. So just like that typical trap clap, that's how you get that. I went with kind of a different clap, something I usually don't use. I like it. Very light. I layered it with this snare, but also had a little bounce to the snare. And then on the snare, on the second, or on the, yeah, wait, would it be 8 bars? 17, 18, 19. Yeah, so on the, close to the 8th bar, I did a little variation on the snare where I did this little roll thing. That's how this looks. Kind of makes the, like the 808s bounce super hard off of it. You hear this a lot on like those type of little baby beats. I think the key is also like messing with the velocities a bit, so it's not all super harsh, but it kind of like builds you down and then into the drop again, if that makes sense. As you can see, like the velocities are a little different and get a little quieter as you go down. Next would be this open hat I added. Let's see, I didn't add any effects to the clap or the snare. Didn't really need it in my opinion. Super simple, just put it right before the clap. It's that reversed open hat. I think it gives it a lot of bounce and character. But when you add the second open hat, also I pan that one to the left, so and I pan my other one to the right, so that way I have a little variation between my open hats. I like that little bounce. Next, we move on the hi-hats. Super simple, just 8 pattern. Let's see if I can pull it up for you guys. Add a couple notes like spiraling downs. I think that really gives it a cool effect for these beats. And then you give those little 30-second notes. Paint. So I like to use my paintbrush for my hi-hats. So I can do these little rolls like that. So super simple, just copied it over for every 4 bars. I could do a little more variation later, but I think it's a solid foundation for this beat. I think it gives it a lot of character. Next would be the 808. This is what carries the beat, to be honest. I think that and the snare carry this beat. So essentially what I'm doing here is I'm following the bass notes of my melody. And this will really help you keep your 808s in the key of the song and really like it'll help it flow off the main melody better. It'll just sound much smoother and not as muddy. As you can hear with this melody, it blends perfectly. So you can hear like that roll at the end. I find in LOGiC it's kind of hard to get like these rolls you see with people in FL Studio when they're doing those crazy like rolls. So I actually played this on my keyboard and I quantized it just a little bit, kind of by hand. And I think I found it's easiest to do it on the keyboard because you can do it yourself and actually like play it how you'd want to hear it, if that makes sense. So that's what this looks like if I zoom in for you guys. I also think adjusting the velocities can play a big role with those rolls. I didn't really do so much in this beat, but I know other ones have a lot of velocity changes to make it like bounce a lot more and pop. But that's also what you do with the kick here. So I layer it with a kick. pretty much the same pattern, but every once in a while I'll take out a kick off one of the 808s. As you can hear, let's see, right here, right there. Gives it a lot more like bounce between the kick and the 808, which it's like a pulsing effect. It's really cool. It's almost like side chaining it with a compressor. But that's a whole other story if you don't know what that is. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the drums. So I'm just gonna play it for you one more time. Got that mood bass in there.
Whip it up, chef.
And that's the beat for you guys. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Please go like, subscribe. Check me out on Instagram. Go download the sample pack. Let's get to 200, baby. Thank you all.